When I read Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, one of the really great tips I learned about it was the difference between good debt and bad debt. Now, you may feel, well, debt's just debt. And I agree with you actually. For a long time, when I actually had my own small business, I had the debt that was the mortgage, debt against the small business, I had credit cards, personal loans for the car. It was just all debt, it was all bundled together. And this is one of those secrets that the wealthy have been teaching their kids for generations about leveraging or about using debt to their advantage to help them stay ahead. So let me just give you a perfect example of that. You wanted to buy a property that's worth, say, $500,000. Very hard to find nowadays, but for $500,000, you only have one or two ways to do that. You can either save for it, and if you save the traditional way, that may take you 10 years to have that $500,000. But by then, that property is now worth $1 million. Or you can borrow the money, have that $500,000 property now, and then in 10 years, when it's now $1 million, your loan is now either at least $500,000 or less. And it's using other people's money. That's one of those other secrets. And you're saying, well, how are you using other people's money? You're using the money from the bank rather than using your own money. You've got to remember, when people put money in for their term deposits and the bank's only giving them pretty well 1% at the moment, they're then lending that money out at 3% for home loans, 7% for personal loans, 20% for credit cards. That's why the banks are making money, but it's other people's money. Don't use your own money, use other people's money. So, and also when that property is an investment, if you do it right and get good advice on buying that property and how your loan is structured, the interest is tax deductible. So what I mean by that is the rent you receive, any negative against that, and that's why they call it negative gearing, that you have left over is tax deductible. But even at the moment, with interest rates so low, you can actually buy properties where the rent is paying the whole loan. So how good is that? You're buying an investment property with other people's money that will provide eventually an income when you pay this off, but just for the moment, the actual cost of that loan is being paid for by who's ever renting that property for you. It's a great strategy. And when we talk about good debt versus bad debt, if I simply wanted to define good debt, it's really buying good income producing assets like a share portfolio or property that will eventually grow once you give it time, and it's not quick term, it's long term. It will grow and provide you growth, and it will also provide you income. And at the end of the day, that's what we're aiming for, buying really good income producing assets so that it's providing the income to you, not your salary. You've reached financial freedom. Bad assets or bad loans is using loans pretty well for everything else. And it's fine for lifestyle assets like, if you want to buy a car or you're using it to buy clothes or whatever your situation is, but you just got to realize that they're not good assets. The car depreciates as soon as you walk out and it doesn't provide you an income stream. Buying clothes or going on a holiday, great for a lifestyle and quite okay too, but you've got to realize they're not assets. So knowing the difference between a good asset and a bad asset or good loan versus bad loan is really critical on becoming wealthy and rich in your own right. And Robert Kiyosaki actually has a very blunt message when he puts in his book. He says, having good debt makes the rich richer. I'll repeat that. What he says in his book is that having good debt makes the rich richer and bad debt makes the poor poorer. And I don't agree that that has to stay that way. So let's fix that problem now and learn how to do better.